On this installment of Creative Cabin Fever, I'm joined by Versive, the duo. It's been really good because we had a special release
Hello.
back when November came out, and now we're having the full show. Guys, how are we?
Great. Really good.
Excellent. It's good to be back. Thank you very much for having us back again.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
so
thank you for
welcome.
having me
It's
for the
sweet to
first
have you.
time. But yeah.
No, I love it. I think it's brilliant that we get to do a completely different thing. So usually I like to ask people how their lockdown experience has been going, like how it's affected their productivity. So do you guys want to talk to me about what lockdown's been like for you personally?
Keelan,
Sure.
you go first.
Oh, me go first? Oh,
Why not?
right. Okay. Well, for me, I've really been. I only had one kind of proper lockdown experience at the beginning of the whole thing. I work in a restaurant, so we closed for like 3 weeks when everything kicked off. But as a manager there, we decided to open back up to do deliveries. So I was back in after 3 weeks, and I've been working ever since, really. So. But it's been weird in its own way as well. It's just in an empty restaurant, sending out food all day, every day. So kind of weird. Not what I signed up for. But yeah, we're trying to keep the music going on the side a little bit as much as possible. We were lucky that we had a bunch of songs already recorded, which we've been putting out one by one, as you know from the last time. But yeah, so that's been fun. That's been cool, because I think if we didn't have that, it would have felt really this year, not being able to do anything at all with the band,
Good answer. I like that. Yeah, I suppose I'll go. Yeah, so like for the first part of lockdown, I was in a different job where I was actually going into work most of the time, and then I left that job because I got a full-time-ish teaching role, and then so I was actually in schools during the first lockdown when schools were actually open. So I was quite busy most days, and I was traveling out to Drogheda a good bit for teaching. And now that I'm back home, I'm kind of just teaching online from my laptop, not full time, but like kind of part time. So I'm still quite active in that kind of way. And then there's other things I'm trying to pursue. I'm looking to do my PhD, and I think this is probably a good time to do it in music composition. And then with the whole band thing, as Keelan was saying, like we're very fortunate that we kind of held up, because we had these songs for a while, but we held off them just to make sure we were releasing properly and at the right time. And that kind of really suited us in a way.
Was this the right time? It was well, yeah, in a way, yeah. Not what we expected, in terms of when we would be releasing them, but yeah, it filled that gap. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. No, yeah, yeah, no, it's again, like Kim was saying, like it's nice to have that to kind of keep us going, because like not being able to play music, not being able to play gigs, it sucks obviously for everybody involved, and it's so strange now. Even the thought of gigs in general just seems like such a foreign concept. Like I look forward to my first gig back with the lads, and it was definitely gonna be a strange one. It's going to be so weird, it just being in a room, whether it be empty or full of people, whatever way it may be.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cool just to be just gigging again, and even to have rehearsal with the lads. We haven't done that since our last gig was actually last March. We played with the Main in the Academy, and it's crazy. It's been a year. It's coming up to a year now since we played a gig last. But yeah, besides that, like I've been trying to get better at just recording as well. I'm always sending lads demos all over the place, but even trying to get better at that kind of form of art, just because it'll make life a lot easier down the road and save us a lot of cost by going to studios. And it kind of keeps me active. Just keep writing and learning how to record music. And so yeah, there's been a lot, obviously naturally a lot of downs, but I'm trying to just keep myself occupied and keep learning and researching ways just to kind of keep myself productive as well.
Yeah, I think you definitely are, like even if it's not Versive related, you're always sending me through little snippets of stuff, and like, so creatively for you, it's been a great time, I think.
Yeah. I especially since last summer during lockdown, I set up my shed to be basically like a really nice, comfortable studio. So it's cool when I go to record music. It's not just me, and my laptop in my bedroom. I'm very fortunate to have a space where I can actually kind of like basically fuck off for like an hour or a couple of hours. And when I'm finished with my day recording, I come into my house and it feels like a separate environment. So it's in a way, I'd almost treat it like a fun work where I go to my shed, record, and come back in. And I'm just very fortunate, and I'm happy. I'm delighted that like I do have that drive to kind of just get stuff done And yeah, so.
Oh, that's wonderful. Those are great answers. Thank you very, very, very much. So I was a bit curious about how you guys became Versive. So we'll start at the way, way back. How did you discover your craft? How did you get into music? And then we'll go to how we found each other and became a thing.
As in like how we became
way, way back.
Yeah, as in
way
like
back.
the origin of Connor and Keelan, basically.
Yeah.
Even before we knew each other, Connor.
Shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fun. Okay. This is fun. It's cool. Like, not that I was expecting to be shit, but like, this is just, it's cool to think that far back. Okay, right. I'll go first. Crack. So I grew up playing traditional Irish music since I picked up a fiddle when I was about 6 years old. This is probably new information for Keelan as well.
I think I do.
Yeah. And so over the years, when my dad plays uilleann pipes, and he's an excellent traditional Irish musician. And then when I was 12, picked up a guitar, and then I kind of gravitated towards rock music. I would have started off listening to a lot of Metallica, and I was a good guitar player for a 12-year-old. And then I started listening to Blink, and then my guitar playing got shit because Blink songs are very, very easy. I still love the band so much. And then, yeah, I started gigging when I was 16, and I was in an old band. And I actually met Keelan. Well, Keelan and I would have gigged together a good bit. And then we kind of became good friends over MSN.
Yeah. Those were the days, MSN.
Yeah, staying up like all hours, just talking shite. And then, so that brings it up to that point. And then Keelan and I didn't really do music together for a long time, even because we were friends for such a long time. And then the origin of Versive, I'll leave to Keelan because I want to hear his side of the story. Because I know,
all right, okay.
I just remember my side of the story, but we've never actually properly spoke about it, which I think is cool.
Anyway. Okay, so freeze frame, rewind the story.
Yeah.
What was Keelan doing all that time? Well, actually, so not similar to Connor, but I guess in a similar vein, I didn't grow up playing trad music, but I grew up playing classical music actually. So that was my introduction. You know, my parents were very into music. My dad was very musical. So from a young age, they kind of got me into playing piano, a bit of violin, bit of this, bit of that. I dabbled in loads of weird things. I remember playing like the organ for like, I tried that for a few months and that was mad. And the double bass. Anyway, loads of random instruments. But and then I don't know. I got into my teenage years and you get a bit like, I don't want to do this anymore. But and so I kind of stopped playing music for a little bit. And I was like, classical music. And towards the end, actually, of my time in school, I found like punk rock. And but as soon as I heard it, that was it for me. Like I just kind of, similar to Connor, fell in love with it. And then I kind of taught myself how to play guitar. And for me, the biggest thing, so I started by listening, I guess, to, you know, the likes of Blink and Green Day and The Offspring. I found those, but then I found bands like Less Than Jake and the Mad Caddies and stuff. And ska for me was a huge thing. And so my first band then was a band called The Upgrades. It was a ska band, and that was, I kind of assembled that with a good friend of mine back then, and we pulled in a bunch of different people, started The Upgrades, did that for a good few years, and that's how I met Connor, because we would have gigged together back in the scene back then, which was quite good. We had, you know, there was a nice little scene back in Dublin in the day for that kind of stuff. I don't think we realized how kind of cool it was at the time. There was plenty of venues you could play. So I met lots of my friends through that, and Connor being one of the best ones.
Good answer.
Anyway, so yeah, no, we became friends. After The Upgrades, then I was in another band called Jody Has a Hit List. We did a fair bit. We toured around, and then when that came to its end, I stopped playing music for a couple of years. I was kind of burnt out on it again. I was like, oh, I can't do it anymore. Like we had gone on some pretty kind of long tours around the UK with Jody, and it's hard. Like, it's very tiring stuff, especially, you know, when you're struggling and you're not really getting money for it, and you're just crammed into a van for like 2-3 weeks at a time. So I reached a stage where I was just like, I am exhausted with this. I can't, I tried for about, I think, 8 years at that stage between The Upgrades and Jody, and I was like, right, okay, no, need a break. So I just went and I worked for a couple of years, and Connor was like talking about, playing a bit of music again. I And I was like, nah, I don't think I'd do it. You know, I don't really want to be part of a band again. And then I don't know, one day he sent me this song, and he was like, oh, me and my friend are going to go up to Manor Park, which is a studio that we had often used. And he was like, this is just some crazy song that I put together. We're just going to go up and record it for the crack. Like, we've already, we're paying for the studio. If you would just come up and put some vocals on it, for the crack. No commitment, just one song. Just do this for the crack. And I was like, okay, I guess so. And it was a pretty heavy song. It was what would become Blackout. That was our first song. So it was along the lines of stuff that I would love listening to, but it was unlike anything that I had done up to that point. So I was like, sure, why not? I was like, I'll just have a bit of fun with it. And I kind of wrote some really aggressive vocals that, that I never would have done before. And I was like, well, this won't be a band, so I won't have to worry about, doing this live, or I won't have to worry about what this would actually sound like in real life. I'll just, go all out and just, get really aggressive and just do this song, record it. It'd be good fun. So we did that. And then of course it became Versive. Little by little, Connor was like, but this is so good. You gotta do some more. Come on. Like, it'll be a band. And I was like, and then it became a band. And I'm really glad it did, because it's been a lot of fun. And it's a great thing to have. And obviously nowadays, we all have, music it's not our main thing. We all have jobs, we all have full-time jobs, but it's really cool to have this, and to work we do put in on it. We pour ourselves into it, when we get the time. So I think it's cool. So there you go. That's the story.
I love it. I love how far back we went, and I love the answers. So thank you very much. Now, we touched upon this. We touched upon this at the start of the interview. So obviously, is there a right time to release music? Is the middle of a pandemic the right time to release music? But you guys, we talked about this, myself and Connor, in the last interview as well. You guys obviously had everything recorded. You've already gone to America. You've already done the hard work. What are you going to do? Sit on it like an egg? Like, no, you have to release it. But how's your experience of releasing in the middle of all this been? Like, have there been any changes to how you normally do it, your process, your thoughts on it, like anything?
I don't know. Alright, do you want to go first? I've been talking for a while.
Has been different. I think we were just, well, first off, we were quite eager just to get it out, because like I said, we've been sitting on songs for quite a while. Dawn was released last summer, wasn't it? Yeah. Or was it before the pandemic?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, because it was after pandemic. Okay, great. I don't think we really took the pandemic into consideration. I think we were just happy, or eager just to release music, to be honest. And then at that time, we signed to Paper and Plastic Records, who actually is owned by Vinny from Less Than Jake. And even he was quite encouraging about releasing the music throughout the pandemic. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the weirdest thing was, because usually when we did, like most bands, if you release something, you play a gig. But like when we were releasing the music gradually throughout all last year and this year as well, that once you release the music, it's a bit of a bummer, because there's not a celebration with your friends and family to kind of play a gig and play to people. But at the same time, the songs have been doing relatively well on like Spotify, probably the most they've done, the best they've done prior to any other releases, which is a great thing as well. So I don't think we definitely don't regret it in any way, releases the songs during the pandemic. And like we said earlier on, it just kind of keeps us going. It's nice to keep just pushing music out there and releasing stuff that we quite proud of.
I think like we were going to release those songs around that time anyway. That was kind of the natural. We like Connor said, we'd been sitting on them a while, but it was coming up to the time that, like, okay, I think it's time. We are putting these songs out. And so in a way, the pandemic didn't change that. It just meant that the reception was going to be, a bit different, and again, not getting to play them live and stuff. But it is cool that I guess we've been able to push the online aspect a little more, and more people are at home, so they've more time to listen. So we did get a lot of good plays on them, I guess, which was nice to see. But yeah, there is other aspects obviously that we just missing out on entirely by just kind of releasing them out into the ether in the middle of a pandemic. It's strange.
Yeah, no, it is. It's such a strange time. Like,
yeah.
Like even with the change of everything on Spotify, everything's getting released as singles as well. Like, thank God we didn't just blast it out as one EP and that was done and dusted on.
Oh yeah.
Last July. Like, it's like I know a lot of people are not. Well, I know some people are not very fond of the whole like just singles and that becomes an album in the end. But I think it's far better. It kind of just keeps.
It's what you have to do at the moment. Really, that's it. Because in the age of content, everything is just content. That's just a little bit of buzz and then it's gone. So you can drop 20 tracks or you can drop one. You'll get the same amount of buzz for a week and then people move on to the next thing. So you have to draw it out. It's like with TV. They went to that. Sorry, I'm just going to talk about TV for a minute. But it's like with the way TV episodes used to come out weekly, but then recently, obviously with Netflix and all, they just put up an entire thing all at once, and people are like, oh my god, you see the new season of Stranger Things, and then it's like a week later, it's like something else, and everyone's forgotten about it. But with the likes of say WandaVision, which is out now, or The Mandalorian, the week by week thing, it keeps people's attention more so. So week by week. And it's really going back to the old way, doesn't it? But yeah, that thing of releasing them one by one keeps the attention there. So it's the same, I guess, with our songs. It was good to actually just put them out there one by one at a time, rather than the whole EP. It just would have been forgotten about. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting way of talking about it and seeing it anyway. Like, I'd agree, like before with box sets and stuff, a lot of people were watching TV, for instance, and they were just devouring this stuff. They've no idea what's happened. Like they don't have the capacity to remember everything that's happened. Whereas now on the T, they're going, oh, the next episode. How crazy is she going to go? What decade are we going to be in? What's going to happen?
You get to discuss it in between episodes, and that's part of the buzz and part of the fun. So,
like even like people who adore them kind of shows, like it's cool that you have the week to kind of discuss it with your mates and kind of come up with theories or whatever the case may be. Instead of kind of, oh, did you see WandaVision last week as in the whole season? Yeah, it was good. Cool.
Done. Yeah. That's it.
Whereas, like Keelan and I have, we whenever we ring each other up, it tends to be a lot longer than it needs to be, because I'm very non-dilly dally. I like to get straight to the point. But with Keelan, I enjoy having conversations about films and talking in great detail about that kind of stuff, and even TV shows as well. But I like it'd be brilliant if people did that. Imagine people staying up till 4 a.m. talking about our music.
Verse of songs. My God, did you
hear that riff?
Second verse? What are they going to do in next week's song?
Yeah, imagine, actually, that's what I came to. We start releasing like an intro one week, a verse the next week, and then a chorus. Oh my God, we're on something new.
Call the music industry. We figured it out.
Yeah.
We're starting new buzz. It's all going to be done on like some kind of weird platform. Like, I don't know, what's it called? That one where everyone can go on and add to your song. And we're just going to have like your own content. You won't even need someone like me anymore. You'll have a weekly episode where people can just create songs with verses.
Oh my God, we have to put Rebecca out of a job.
Everyone out of a job.
Yeah, everyone. Sorry, I went off a small bit there.
No, I love it. This is exactly what this show is for. It's to get to know like stuff that people don't usually like. It's your platform. We talk about anything. I'm usually pretty good at switching around. And we did say it's almost a year since your last gig. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're
crazy.
Gigs.
To be fair, like let's say that was the last gig ever. That wouldn't have been the shittest gig to go out on. It was a pretty fun gig. It was actually one of the bigger, it was bigger crowds who played to as well. But
it's crazy to think that was in March of last year. Like March last year feels like that was like the pandemic was started, and it's like, oh my God, what were we doing playing a gig back then? But it was the end of March, wasn't it? I guess when the pandemic kicked in really for us.
12th of March. 12th of March, everything was shut down.
12th. Holy shit! So we only played that gig maybe like a week before that or something.
Oh, like I was just thinking about this. This is like at that time, that week I went to 3 gigs. One of them I played one. I went to see 1975 in a venue filled, whatever, 3 arenas packed full of thousands of people. Then went to Button Factory to see Corey Wong. So I was exposed to so many people crowded this place, and I came out just fine. I hope anyway. Maybe I did catch it and just kind of dribbled off. But but like even that, the thought of that notion was just mental that like 2 weeks after that would have been a crazy deal to be in a crowded room.
Yeah.
It's like just such
seems like a lifetime ago that we played that show. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I'm just curious to see whatever about small gigs come back, because there's obviously less people. Like the likes of arena shows, like how is that going to fare out down the line? Like I'm curious.
Yeah, a load of sweaty people packed together. Like,
yeah, I've seen all the stuff online
in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for a while, like I'm seeing a few gig bookings happening for November, right? I'm I'm optimistic. Like I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
But like we're looking at 50 people capacity for bigger venues. And if we're being realistic about everything, right? The music industry is an industry. Unless they're going to be making their money back, like.
No, I know. Yeah, it's not sustainable. Like, yeah.
So I don't know.
It's scary. Like we were talking about this before the interview, that like we have a few shows in the new year in the works, and it's nice because like we got invited to go play Russia for a couple of weeks, and hopefully that goes ahead. If it does, and that's next May. I'm really hoping, like, and yeah, it's like it's a year from now, but still, like really hope it goes ahead, and I hope like life does open up back then. Then like even to like thinking of trying to play a show at the end of this year would have been kind of scary as well, even because we need to be eased back as a society to realize, okay, it's actually okay to be around a lot of people. So it'd be interesting to see people, like when life does open up, like what has it done to kind of to people's mindsets about being in crowded spaces as well. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, well, like for me personally, like I basically had agoraphobia for years. So like I only started going out again like the year before last. I only started going to gigs again, getting on a bus and not being scared something bad was going to happen. Literally the year before all this happened. Like literally, I'm still at that point where I go to gigs up in Dublin with my friends and I'd be like, is it okay if I just leave you now? Because I just can't deal with being around people at a gig. So
right.
And now I'm at this weird place where like I'm the coordinator on live stream. So I get to be the only person at a gig, which seems to be what I wanted all along. But is it?
Yeah.
Because, like it's strange. Like, I find being around people incredibly difficult again now. After working back up to being around people,
So I have a question for you out of curiosity. So when life does not... Yeah. When the first kind of gigs start kind of come back up, let's say next year, some stage, or end of this year, whenever it does, like, will you be going to them? Like, if you're invited to come, or would you be kind of apprehensive, do you think?
I'll go at every single gig that was ever there that I can get to in my life. Like, I am never, ever missing out on the opportunity of going to a gig again in my life. I went for so long without them. Right. As soon as I decided I was getting back in the game, I was once every 6 weeks traveling to Dublin or God knows where to go see my favorite up and coming bands and network and do all the stuff I had to do. Like, that's just what it's going to be like. So I'd always do one for fun, but it's never really just fun because you have to meet people and,
Yeah. It's mad that like you have such an itinerary of Irish bands all around Ireland because of this job that you do, like, and that the amount of bands you met through it's pretty cool. It's pretty insane, and what you're doing is great. I love watching interviews, so thank you for having us.
Yeah, it was weird. I started interviewing people on the 20th of March.
Oh, really? Wow. Oh, wait, sorry. So 20th of March was, what was that? Just
8 days after lockdown.
Or just 8 days after lockdown. Okay, yeah. You got right in there, so fair play.
I cried for a week and then I was like, how do I fix this? I think this is going to go on a very long time. And people were like, no, there's going to be festivals this summer. And even at Christmas, everyone was like, oh, there's going to be festivals this summer. And I was just like,
no.
So did Eddie, because I know Eddie used to run biking promotions. So did he hand over the gauntlet to you during the pandemic, or was that planned maybe a month beforehand, or how did that work?
This is funny. So in October, I would have met Eddie, and I used to do a pirate radio show, and Eddie would have come on my show a few times to talk about biking gigs. And it kind of grew a friendship. And then in October, he was doing a poster run in Waterford. And I was like, I haven't done a poster run in years. I'd love to help you with the poster run. And I don't know, we just sat down after the poster run and he was like, you still have that energy. And I was like, yeah, but I'm 34, because I was 34 at the time. I'm now 35. I was like, I think I'm too old to go back into
Really?
promotion. Yeah, why does everyone react that way?
Yeah, you age incredibly well. You're like 23.
Yeah.
Thank you. So he was like, do you want to do promotion again? And I was like, oh, I don't know, man. What would I be doing? Like, and he was like, oh, look, we'll try it out and we'll see what happens. And then in February, he decided that he was kind of, I think you're doing a good job, Rebecca. I think you could keep going. And I want to do my own thing. So he gave me the company and I was like, oh crap, this is like, what do I do? What do I do? And then I'd already kind of started meeting with loads of my old contacts and stuff. And a friend of mine was like, look, Rebecca, stop concentrating on the fact that you're not a sound engineer. You don't have a rig. You've all that passion and energy. You should just keep going. And then the pandemic happened. And I was like, oh my God, how do I do it now? And I figured it out. But look, it's just like.
Fair play.
Yeah, it worked out well anyway. It's definitely, it's just great to see constant content from our various Irish musicians as well, like, but especially artists I've probably never heard of and I would have discovered through you. So it's definitely doing really good. It's cool.
Yeah, well, I think I was kind of like, okay, so my main thing is I want everyone to shine. Like, it genuinely is. I was never really like, oh, I'm going to make money out of promote. Like, that wasn't really anything I'd even thought could happen. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start interviewing people so they still have a platform. Because right now, the biggest problem is there's not as much Irish play as there should be for artists. There's no gigs at the moment. So how do they do it? So let's start interviewing people. And that's what happened. The first interview was actually an accident because I was meant to be planning a French band's tour. Yeah, I was meant to be planning a French band's tour. So I rang Roman and we were talking about France and what was going on. And full lockdown was already in effect in France. So they were 2 weeks ahead of us. So I wanted to hear about that. And I was like, actually, this would make a great interview. Can we do it in French and English? And he was like, yes. So we did 2 interviews, one in French, one in English. And then by Curious, we're doing a cool song with like sound bouts of your experience in lockdown. So I was like, hey guys, I really like you guys. Can we do an interview? And then it just kept going.
Nice.
Cool.
Do you speak French?
I do. I speak 5 languages.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
I am really old. I speak loads of languages and I interview people.
Nice. But do you speak Russian? That's the main one.
I do not speak Russian.
We need to
translate.
It's
very hard. Apparently it's a very hard language. Someone was telling me that the other day.
We'll find out.
One of the hardest. Yeah. Well, we're not going to learn it, but
I don't know. We have a year and a bit. Like, we have fuck all to do, so we might as well try and learn a new language for a 2-week possible trip. I love that as a possible trip, so it could go to waste.
But would a language ever truly go to waste, lads?
Oh, I want to learn Korean though. That's what I want to learn.
Have you tried it during the pandemic?
I tried right back at the very start. I was like, I'll use this pandemic to learn Korean, and I downloaded some really good app that teaches you, and I did all the first few lessons and stuff, and then you have to pay to do more or whatever, and then I just didn't. So
did you take up anything during the pandemic, Ian? Like, is there anything that you've been putting on long finger? Well, I suppose you don't really have as much time. You don't, because you're working all the time.
I haven't had as much time. Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, your life is not.
Although I say that, but like I still do have time. Like, I've a lot of downtime at home, and you don't have anywhere else to go. But still, when I'm working and then I come home, I just feel like I want to just chill out. Yeah. Even if it's like sometimes I have 3 or 4 days off in a row, but I still just chill out for those 3 or 4 days and don't really get much done. But I was talking to Connor there the other day about I'm hoping to, it's probably something I should have done way back at the start of the pandemic, but actually get some more audio equipment and, get a nice mic, or get some audio recording stuff so I can actually either demo or potentially, actually record vocals from home, because, with Connor becoming so good at all the recording stuff, and it would just be great as a band if we're able to record our own stuff. It'd be brilliant, and especially even just to be able to demo when we can't see each other in person. So it'd be great to be able to at least do it virtually. And again, I probably should have jumped on that a year ago. I should have done like you did. I should have cried for a week, and then on the 8th day, I should have bought audio equipment and just done it. But that's something hopefully I'll get around to now in the next while.
There's a few things that we were like in the works. Like we had when we released our tune, actually Lifetimes, we had a music video. We went like I think it was when the restrictions lightened up a small, but we did a music video, but we didn't get it fully completed, and then lockdown hit hard again. But it's kind of interesting in a way, because now it's giving us a chance to, when we can come back together and kind of start releasing or do more music videos or whatever, it kind of gives us a chance to give the songs a second life again. So we will obviously release the Lifetimes music video, which gives the song Lifetimes itself kind of a bit more boost. So that's like, even that down the line, it's going to be a lot of fun, just because when we meet up, it's not like everything's going to be released and we have nothing really to do. Like it kind of gives us
a second wind.
And
hopefully by then, I guess, hopefully things might be open up a little bit more, and we can kind of release all the songs again with a music video. And maybe it's really ambitious, but to do one for each song. Well, we've already done one for Done, but one for each song, and then hopefully we can kind of put the songs out there again, and then we'll actually be able to gig them, hopefully.
That was class.
Look, it's all going to come around, and it's just forcing you to be more creative. So I'm all about it. And one music video for song, brilliant idea. There's so many people that are truly creative out there that would only love to help you with a project like that and get seen themselves. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Like we're one of the fortunate bands that we have everything at our disposal. Like we have 2 graphic designers that are very talented. I do the majority of recording, and then one of the graphic designers does films music videos, which his name's Oscar for Long Lost. Give him a plug right there. But so for a very chilled band, we're very fortunate to have all these kind of elements at our disposal. Yeah. Because Jesus, that stuff costs a lot of money. I don't even know how much that stuff costs, like artwork and music videos, because we've been so lucky just to do it ourselves.
People can pay anywhere from €500 to $5,000 for music videos. Probably more if you're big artists, but at our level, you could still pay a couple of grand for someone to do a music video for you. So it's crazy.
And how much do we pay Oscar? Nothing.
we wreck his studio with paint. That's what we do.
My God, yeah. So when we're doing Lifetimes video, whenever we released kind of smiddle clips of just us getting bashed in the face with paintballs just to make it real colorful. And he just got this newly rented warehouse that he has his company in, and oh my God, we fucked that.
I was just like, Oscar, so I had told Oscar about it, definitely, but for some reason it hadn't sunk into him what we were doing. I was like, we're going to throw paint at each other. And I showed up with buckets and loads of paint and water and water balloons that I was going to fill with paint to throw at each other. And you could see Oscar's face through the day, just he was just getting more and more worried, but he wanted to press on with it because he knew we had to do the video, and he'd agreed to it, but he hadn't really thought about, it hadn't sunk in with him what was actually going to happen.
The dire consequences.
What? Yeah. We had to call off the first day of shooting, didn't we? We kind of had to call it a day because we put it did we even have any protective stuff on the first day? Not really, no. But I think we threw something and it just went everywhere, and it was okay, maybe this is a little messier than we thought. So the next day we put up all this plastic sheeting. We created this whole kind of clean room, almost like a kill room in Dexter or something. If you've ever just plastic sheeting just covering everything. And we're okay, cool. And we went for the first shot. Who were we throwing the first balloon at? Was it you or Kean? So we went for the first shot, and I threw one of the first balloons like Kean, and it skimmed off his face, hit plastic sheeting. The plastic sheeting ripped. The balloon went right through it and splashed all over the outside, covering part of Oscar's studio.
And then we were just
we all just froze, and then everyone just burst out laughing. Even Oscar was just oh, for God's sake. After that, then it all went kind of smoothly, actually, with chances. What are you going to say?
I have a question there. Obviously, cuteness. I thought that'd be the best way to interrupt. But my funniest memory of that. So as kids, we went on quite late, maybe 11 or 12 at night, and we didn't realize there was a house just outside the industrial estate that could hear the music being blaring through the warehouse, and so we were keeping some kid up, his child up, which I feel awful about. And then he came into the warehouse to let us know, right? and we were just in our boxers because we were drenched in paint, getting changed. And so he came into this place, destroyed with paint, bunch of lads covered in paint in their boxers.
We were all like sweeping the floor, like sweeping paint off the floor and stuff.
Like, I can't imagine what was running through his head when he entered the warehouse. He's probably thinking it's just a rowdy party. And it was like just 5 lads in their knickknacks, drenched in paint. And he was just, can you turn the music down? Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I imagine lots of things ran through his head. None of them were music video.
No.
Yeah, probably not. No.
No. And I'm pretty sure we had all the video equipment even put away at that stage. So just like there was no indication to tell this is a music video. That guy probably never, like, because Oscar probably blares music all the time. He's probably just afraid to go back to that warehouse. I think it's like just a big paint orgy place.
Paint orgy or Dexter type like mystery murder thing. Like I'd hope that it mostly wasn't red paint on the floor at that point either, because I'm surprised the cops weren't called. Do you know what I mean?
There was a lot.
Imagine the cops who showed up. That'd be great.
Yeah, how would you explain that? Politely just say, like, we're just trying to make a music video. He goes, could you be just less weird about it? No.
We're just being creative, man.
Yeah, we asked your man to be in the video. He said no. Incredible. That was good to get off my chest. I'm so happy I got to tell that part about the fella. I hope imagine he tuned in and now he's like, okay, that makes sense.
I hope he tunes in as well, and I hope he knows that story. And we are definitely sorry for keeping your child awake, but also art needs to be made. It's a difficult time.
That's it.
Yeah. We should have threw paintballs at the baby.
Connor.
Sorry.
Connor.
Sorry, this is.
We've spoken about this.
Yeah, no paintballs at babies. We spoke about this.
No, my kid is very creative. He likes to paint the walls with toothpaste lately. It's great fun.
Okay.
Oh, excellent. Does he like paintballs being drawn on? Sorry.
I reckon he would destroy you. If you're ever considering doing a paintball music video again, I think you bring Keanu Dante up there with you and you just watch.
Yeah, it'd be cheaper as well. Yeah. You can just give him like child rates as well. So that'd be a cost-effective music video.
He's already been in a music video. He's in a Lipton Village music video.
Oh, very good. He's a star.
We can't afford him then.
He's also done interviews with me as well. I think I might go back to that eventually. I'm going to be working on new ideas, but that would be cool.
As in like music interviews, would he be interviewing musicians as well?
He interviewed one. He was
well,
the person in question is my ex-boyfriend, so they knew each other quite well. So it wasn't too difficult. Okay. Then I did another interview with a friend of mine. That was a bit more difficult. But he was after sending Amy Taylor, Amal and the Sniffers a video asking to interview her during the summer.
Okay.
And because he's madly in love with her. And she agreed, but then we never set up a date. But I was like, that would have been so cool.
Yeah. You should get him doing even like a little like 5-minute segment of every video. He could just be like a little guest spot every time.
Because kids just ask whatever they want.
Yeah.
Which I think I enjoyed it because I work with kids and I just sometimes I enjoy the no filter that they have. It's like just like why, like it's always like it's curiosity, it's such strange curiosity. Like why does this do that or why that? And it's like I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I think like I said that'd be a lot of fun.
You know, and he's hilarious. Like if you go onto the YouTube channel at some point, there's actually 2 videos of me interviewing him. One is about Marvel, and the other one is about his musical tastes. And they're only about 5 minutes long, but they're hilarious. Like,
you can have a good chat with him. You love Marvel. We all love
Marvel, yeah.
But you'll have a good chat with him about Marvel and Star Wars.
Actually, and Star Wars.
Evidently.
Anything else? Yeah.
Oblivion.
Yeah, so we're a year on from a gig. So my question was going to be, are there venues you missed? Do you have any good gig memories, bad gig memories? I'll take it all.
Okay. Well, obviously, we'd played a good few shows in upstairs in Whelan's, which I actually really like. It's just a really nice room. It's, you know, it's actually it's a perfect little size if you know, you can fit a decent amount of people in there, but it's nice and intimate, nice little stage. Actually, I really, really like that room. And then obviously the show we played with the Main just before pandemic hit, that was in the Academy 2, which is, not the Academy 2. What do they call it? The green room? So it's not the downstairs part or the upstairs. It's the ground floor kind of level, which again, a good bit bigger than upstairs in Whelan's, but that's a nice size room as well. Like it's big, but it's not too big. And that was cool. That was a nice stage. Any bad venues? I don't know.
Or bad gigs you really didn't enjoy. Your own
gigs.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I was curious to hear, Keelan, because I'll stop, man. Because usually a bad gig kind of you'll just go straight to it. It's like but I don't remember having gone, oh crap, that was the worst thing ever. Like I'm sure we didn't play the best, but I've never come off stage going.
Yeah, I don't think so. I can't. We haven't had any disastrous gig stories so far, thankfully. But like, we don't gig as much as we would have back in the day. So I guess when we do gig, it's kind of it's well planned and we're ready for it and we're excited and it usually comes through in the performance, I think. So that's good. Actually, there was one gig that didn't go great, I don't think. It was like downstairs in it was like in a basement thing.
Everest, was it?
No. Underground, is that the
yes,
the
we played with Forever Came Calling, was it?
Yeah, but there wasn't, I don't know, I feel like, was I like hungover or something, and there wasn't really anybody there, and it was just, I don't know, it was okay, but it was like, I guess of all the gigs we played, that would be the one that would have come to mind as like, yeah. But again, it wasn't a disaster or anything, so.
The thing that's kind of like I can't imagine why it must be such an eyesore because there's so many of us in the band. There's 6 of us usually when we play live because we've got 3 guitars, which is Jesus.
What, 6 of them?
Yeah, it's getting sick everywhere. I actually remember we were playing with the Living End in the green room in the Academy, and they're a 3-piece. And I remember the sound engineer going, "Okay, cool. So what am I working with?" And I was like, 3 guitars, a bass, drums, and 3 vocals. And he was like, "Who booked this gig?" And he was, he was just like,
that was very mean of him to say that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite harsh. And that happened before in Whelan's. We were playing with, I think, Ruse, and they were 3-piece. And then we were just, they're great, and then we rolled up and we were setting up because they're a 2-piece. Sorry, my mistake, 2-piece. And then there's us stacking stage full of more amps because we were 3 guitars and bass, and your man just like, "What's going on here?" I was like, "We got invited to play a gig."
Well, I guess maybe people shouldn't put us with bands that have like 2 members or 3 members, and then like we're just supporting and we're like, we're taking over the stage, like. But
yeah, that's really down to a booker to make sure that you have a good enough flow to what's going on stage. You know, like that.
So maybe a man in the Academy was right to say who booked this gig, but like, we were like, well, we're glad we're here. So
yeah. It's all about us. Yeah.
It's all about us. Yeah, no, that's one of the things I find hilarious. Like, people would be like, "Oh, all you do is put on gigs." I was like, well, actually, I have to think of who's going to work with who, why they're going to work with who, what's the reason for having them together. It's not just I get 4 emails and go, "Yeah, you guys can play a gig." Like that is not how it works. Like, the dynamics of it are.
Much. Yeah, there's so much work goes into putting on gigs, like so much work. I used to do it back in the day as well, and then even when we would go on tour, a lot of our tours we'd be almost planning them ourselves. So there's so much work goes into it, like so much, and even on the day, it's tiring work, like, and a lot of prep as well.
Very, very glamorous, but nobody else should start promoting. No, like, it's funny. People just see the glamorous side of like everything we do. Like, whereas, as you said, you and decided not to do anything anymore because being in a van for 2 weeks on end was too much. It's a lot, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like, I remember in my old band, one of the bigger sports lots that we got. I remember thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." And as you said, like I was just quite young, thinking of quite naive. And they're like, "Oh, so we get a rider?" I was like, "Oh, can we get a rider?" And then your man, we were putting like the boiler room with a pack of Doritos and a couple of bottles of Heineken. And I was like, yeah. And to be fair, that's quite like Doritos and a few beers is actually quite generous. But at that time, it's so funny sometimes. It's just what people probably think what's going on behind the scenes. We're just like, no, us 6 lads getting stuck into the pack of Doritos. That is the dream, though.
I always think back when people think, oh, you went on tour, it's so glamorous, and I just always think back to being, stuffed in the back of a van. Sometimes I think on one of the tour, our van didn't even have enough seats for all of us, so some of us were just like kind of just sitting on the floor. And like one of the guys was just there hacking into a tin of beans with like a blunt knife because he didn't have a tin opener. And like that was all the food we had for that day because we didn't get any money from the show. We didn't sell any merch. So we stopped into Asda for like to spend our last like £2 on instant mash and like a tin of beans or a tin of like macaroni or whatever. And then like just be like, oh my God, I don't even have any way to open this. And we're like hacking into it. We're pulling up to the venue and he's like, I'm trying to get beans, squeeze them out of the tin and then trying to like clean yourself up and you get out and all the kids are like, oh, whoa. You're like, yeah.
That is incredible. I've never even heard that story before. That makes me upset.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like I was talking to Connor, like obviously recently enough, I was in charge of, I was the coordinator in Cypress Avenue for 32 streams. It was meant to be 33, but one person didn't end up being able to make it. So it was 32. We did over 12 days. I live in Waterford. Cypress Avenue is in Cork. I stayed in a hostel and worked 18-hour days in a venue nonstop. And everyone was like, oh my God, your life is so glamorous. It's like, my hostel got raided 3 times by the cops, lads. I'm sleeping terrified in a hostel, going straight to the venue. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't swap it out with any of you for anything. But at the same time, this idea that I'm having...
Yeah.
It's funny, notion, like I remember talking to some of my mates who used to play in bands actively, and I was like, what was your favorite part? And most of them are just like, I hate touring, rehearsals a burden to them, but they're always just like, but the half an hour you play on stage is always worth it, which is in a way, which is nice that it just takes that one small important element to make you realize that this is all worth doing for. And the thing we mentioned before in the interview beforehand last month, we like Versive we do things mostly on our own terms. Like if we don't want to do a gig, we won't do it, because we've all had our kind of you had such a dramatic experience compared to other lads in the band, but it's nice because we're very chilled out about it. It's not in the forefront. Like it's basically we just want to play gigs together as mates. Like if the Russia tour goes ahead, it's just gonna be the way we look at it. It's just like a holiday. Like myself and the lads just kind of going on holidays. It's gonna be nice, isn't it, Keelan? We've never gone on holidays, have we?
I'm just getting flashbacks here, and I'm like imagining myself in Russia now, hacking into a tin of beans, like.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope that's not the case.
Beetroot soup or something.
Oh, that's low.
Borscht.
Something like that's low.
Borscht. That's the word I was looking. Yeah.
So. Like, thankfully enough, we were smart enough to do everything kind of like just if we don't want to do anything, we'll gladly say no.
Just want to do it.
Yeah, just want to do it. Sometimes just only we'll say yes and we just only show up. I know. Lead everybody on.
Little bobblehead. Oh my God! Oh, I love it. Sorry, we got distracted there because.
Yeah, bright lights.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. I'm just beside my collection.
Whoa. Wait. Oh, right. Okay.
Wait. Okay. So,
I thought someone was flying into.
No. Like, so I collect. Wait. Weird things Rebecca does during interviews. Right. So. We have because my son's called Keanu, so I tried to have as many Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that's
this
class.
is John Wick.
Wow, what a cool name, by the way, for your kid. What a cool name.
Yeah, that is a pretty badass name.
Yeah. Keanu Dante, so Keanu after Keanu Reeves, and then Dante after Devil May Cry, my favorite video game of all time.
Wow. If he's not famous when he's older, I'll eat my up head collection or something. Yeah, like Keanu Dante, what a name. Wow.
Yeah, that is it's quite a movie star name in the best way possible.
It's like you don't really get to name
success.
A person too often, so I thought go big or go home, but I've never met another Keanu.
No, I never met either. And I saw that you had the Ted Bobble. Because
there's loads of them there. There's loads of them.
I bloody adore Bill and Ted so much. I'm quite vocal about that.
It was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah. Rebecca, did you see the new Bill and Ted film?
No, I haven't had a chance yet. I've completely stopped watching films.
Oh, I should check that out. It's quite. Actually, if you're looking for a new film to kickstart off, maybe don't watch that one because it's not that incredible. It's lovely.
It's good fun.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable. It put us.
I mean, Keanu Reeves is in it, so yes, watch it, of course.
Yes,
But that's true. My whole house is full of Keanu Reeves stuff. Like one of my friends, like if you look at the back wall there, you see that round thing. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the Keanu Reeves like stitch. So it's John Wick's face.
Okay. I don't know if I can see it, but
do you know what? I'll bring it to you after the interview.
Just about.
Yeah, do. Yeah.
Everyone else can wonder at home, and we can just be like, why does she keep bringing pop figures down? There's loads of them. I'd move the camera. I could move the camera. No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oscar has loads. Our bass player, he's got like his backdrop. If he's ever on a Zoom call with us, is just like figures, pop heads, like loads and loads.
Crash, Spyro, all Marvel characters. It's insane. Like his office, like again, he owns a huge warehouse, but he's done it up to the nines where it looks like a creche because it's just full of toys. And then,
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like I love that he. Yeah.
It looks like a crash.
So fucking weird.
Yeah, no, like I have in the other room, I have a massive bookshelf, and it's all graphic novels and Star Wars books. Like,
nice.
Real nerdy.
My room is so boring. I need to have like some painting in the background there next time we do an interview.
Next time we do an interview, just have posters up. That will do fine, Connor.
Yeah, just like Viking misspelled or something like that.
In blood. And then we'll ring the guy and be like, you were right. It was a slaughterhouse, not a music video. You should have called the cops. Your kid was right to be terrified by the
but nobody died. We didn't kill anybody yet. We weren't arsed. That went off track there.
Yeah. Okay, this is what happens. So I was like, it could be anything. Like I didn't imagine I'd be bringing pop figures down in the middle of an interview, but here we are.
There you go. That's the fun of it. Yeah.
We're going to ask the last question before I ask you guys if you want to add anything. So I'm always interested in hearing who you'd recommend I should be listening to. So what local artists are you all about at the moment?
Okay. Local artists am I all about at the moment? Well, there's actually just only, I think, last week, a band called Future Lows. Have you been listening to them?
No, I need a pen. I can't find my pen. I will sort this out later.
Future Lows. So actually produced by a friend of ours.
Stephen Youngster.
Yeah, Stephen. And I think he plays in the music video as well. And I know one of the guys from years back as well, Mikey, really nice guy. And yeah, they put out their, just kind of out of nowhere to me anyway, like a week or two ago, put up their first new song with the music video and everything. That's pretty cool. It's like, it's really good stuff actually. So I'm excited to see what else they come out with now. I don't know, was that the only song they recorded?
I'm not too sure, but the thing I love about them is I'm not too familiar with the many huge alt rock kind of bands in Dublin. So like when they release them, it's like, oh, this is cool. This is a band.
I don't know if there is that many alt rock bands in Dublin or band, punk rock or whatever you'd call it. Like I feel like there's not that many bands doing that anymore. I mean, I know about us and that's about it. I've a few friends in kind of like indie bands and things like that. But so when I saw Future Lows come out last week with that, I was like, oh, cool, another band. Somebody we could maybe play some shows with. And like I said, I miss like back in the day when there actually was a bit of a scene and there was, I think we were spoiled for choice in the amount of friends we had who were in different bands. We could all play shows together, and you can't really do that these days. And even when we're putting on a show, it's kind of like, oh, who do we get that's a good fit? Because we have friends in some cool bands, but mostly all very different genres to what we're doing. So it's always kind of, we usually just then try to go for a kind of a varied lineup, but yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see that there are actually bands out there now still doing that kind of music. So hopefully it goes well.
Well, I look forward to a Versive Future Lows gig eventually in the one time.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be
you
there.
heard it here first. Yeah.
I mean, they don't even know about this yet. So
even the guys in Future Lows heard it here first. Yeah.
What's a Versive?
It seems like it would be a good fit if and when gigs return. That's definitely something. But actually, yes, because you haven't heard them yet, so
absolutely, yeah,
could be a future guest for you as well.
Yes, I have written them on my phone since I could not find my pen.
Very good.
There's one thing. There's actually one band. Well, they're quite big, but there's a band that released a song today called Yolum. They're like a fusion trad band. They're one of the lads, the Pipers from Belfast, and the other lads from the States. But they're an incredible trad kind of funk band. It actually has the bass player Joe Dart from Vulpec in it as well. I just wanted to put that in because I'm just excited about listening to their music today. It's not because they haven't released music in 9 years, so it's the first single in 9 years. Yes, last
year. Yeah, and it sounds completely different to what I was expecting. Like I thought it would be more along the lines of the different trad again, and now it's more kind of funk. Like it's cool. Like it's really, really cool, but it's not what I expected. But then it's like, what do you expect? Like I don't know anymore. Like it could be anything now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is great. I love kind of fusion kind of genres that just come up with new music. That's what, instead of just following the same kind of patterns. But yeah, they're an incredible band who I really enjoy listening to. One might say I adore them.
I really like them.
There's that word again.
Yeah, I told Keanan last night that I adore film, and he was like, "Adore is a strong word," and I was like,
a very strong word.
Yeah,
you don't hear very often. I adore it. Wow.
No.
Wow.
Maybe I like a single door, just the one door.
Oh, sorry. Connor. Oh, no.
So, yes.
It's okay, Connor.
I'm going mad.
My head was going to similar places. Okay, let's wrap things up. Before I go, is there anything you guys would like to add to the interview? And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. That's what I'd like to add. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we have another single coming out possibly around April. I don't think I've discussed this with the lads. I've just finalized it here and now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've had two exclusives here. We have a Future Lows gig coming that they don't know about, and now we know that there is a single coming out in April.
yeah. In around April, let's say. But yeah, and it's called The Unknown. So there you go.
The Unknown.
The Unknown. Well, this
I didn't know about it though.
I did.
It's very vague as well.
Stop recording now.